بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Oh Allah, teach us what is beneficial to us and benefit us with what is being taught to us and increase us in beneficial knowledge. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So last time we talked about Sifaatul Huroof. I had previously mentioned that I'm going to make a sort of a matrix for you to show you every letter, how or what characteristics it has. So I came up with a matrix that I'm going to share with you, because in here, we'll list under each characteristic, the letters that go with it. But in this matrix here, I listed every letter, and then I show each letter what it has. And I'm going to go through this matrix with you so I understand what it is. And hopefully, I'm hoping it's going to be of benefit to you when you want to review some of your pronunciation, or you want to make sure you're saying a letter correctly. On top, this is representing breath. So if a letter lets breath out, releases breath, then the box under it will be green next to it. Okay, so the hamza does not release breath, so it's red, because we say there's no breath coming out, right? We say you put your hand in front of your mouth to see if there's breath coming out, and you can't feel anything. Versus, let's say, F, you can feel air coming out. So F, there should be air felt on your hand when you're pronouncing that letter. Otherwise, that means you're not pronouncing it correctly. So this is the first characteristic that we learned, which is al-jahr versus al-hams. So instead of learning, to memorize the nomenclature, we're just gonna make it pictorial, and we're gonna use the breath. Okay. The second characteristic was ash-shidda versus al-rakhawa. So it's about sound. We said if the sound actually keeps traveling, or if it stops, it's choked. So if the sound keeps going, the box is gonna be green. If it's choked, it's gonna be red. Again, for example, ba, you say ab. You stop ab. The sound for the letter ba, the sound for ba, ab, stops right there. Versus, let's say, ah, the sounds keep going. Ah. Okay, so this way you know that the ha, the sound keeps going, whereas the ba, the sound is interrupted. The third characteristic was al-isti'la versus al-istifala, which means raising up the tongue from the back versus just having the tongue lowered. But also we said that is linked to another characteristic, which is heaviness, right? Heaviness versus lightness. So instead of using an ista'la and the raisiness of the tongue or not, I just use heaviness versus lightness. If it's heavy, it's red. If it's light, it's green. So light letter like ja, edge, your tongue is low and the sound is light, edge. Versus your tongue raised up from the back. Or else, those letters are heavy and they cause like echoing into your ceiling of the mouth and make this loud noise. Those are heavy letters. Finally, the fourth is al-itbaq versus al-infitah, which we said there's only 4 letters that cover your ceiling. The tongue covers the ceiling almost entirely, either by completely touching or just hovering close by. And those are the letters that have the big loop when you draw them: sa, da, ta, and va. Those are those letters. And next to them, I had the extra characteristics, and those are the characteristics that are unique to those letters: qalqala, inhiraf, takrir. Now, the more red you see next to a letter, the more powerful it is when you pronounce it. The more red you see, the more power the letter it has. So which letter is the most powerful in pronouncing? If we see here, we have here 2, 2, 1 box, 2, 2. If we jump to the next screen, we have 1 letter in the alphabet that is all red, and that is ta. Ta is the strongest letter. It has all characteristics red. It doesn't allow breath to keep going. It doesn't allow sound to keep going. It's heavy, and it covers the ceiling, and it has qalqala, which we are going to talk about today, inshallah. What is next? If you can see, after ta, we have da and, for example, dha. They both have 3 red, but da has istitala, which means da, we said the sound keeps going for a longer time. So that means da is even stronger than dha. But da and qa have the same thing. They have 3 boxes that are red, and they have an extra characteristic. So these are the second strongest letters, and then comes dha. These are the strongest. The lightest, as you can see, they have all green, like the ha, like the fa, sha, sa. These are the lightest, but sha is stronger, for example, because it has the characteristics of sha. That's why, you know, when people shush others, actually their shushing by itself is actually loud, right? Like you say shh. Like sometimes I'm praying and somebody is shushing, like my wife trying to shush the kids not to make sounds because I'm praying. And sometimes I feel like the shushing is higher than the talk of the kids, because sha is strong because of the tafashi characteristics. Okay. So this matrix is good to come back to and to verify these things. Here I have a couple of things just to let you know here. The ra, for example, I have a yellow box in front of the sound. Did I do a mistake here? Sound. So I have an orange box in here because we said ra is mainly heavy, right? But sometimes it's light, like when it's ri, when it comes with a kasra. So that's why it's not red. It's not all the time heavy, but it's mainly heavy. And la is mainly light. So it's green, but it's a little dark because sometimes la is heavy in the name of Allah, like we said that, right? So that's what we said. Okay, so here they are yellow because we said there are letters that are between shidda and rakhawa, right? So there are some letters that are not completely stopping sounds, right? And not completely letting the sound keep going. We said Lin Omar are letters that are in between. They let the sound go, but not too completely, and they don't cut it sharp. And those are Lin Omar. So if we look at there should be 5 letters if I didn't make any mistakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 letters. Okay. So those are for the matrix. This is for our matrix. So today, inshallah, we're gonna recite the Suratul Al-Fatiha. I want to have, if possible, at least 1 or 2. I'm not gonna take more than 2. If we can take 2 volunteers, I'm hoping, who can raise their hand, and I'll record them while recorded so that people can benefit, inshallah, from listening to them. And if I have corrections, they can learn from those. And then I'll stop the recording, and whoever wants to read without being recorded will also hear them and listen to them. So will I, inshallah, have any volunteer that will benefit others as well as a sadaqah, so that we can learn and they learn and let others learn through them, inshallah. Surah Al-Fatiha. Anybody wants to? Okay, I have 1 volunteer. And do we have another one? 1 is good. Okay, so we'll take 1, 2. Okay, good. So we have 2, inshallah, and then the rest we can listen after. I'll start with Sister Crystal. Let me just make sure I can let you unmute yourself. Yes. So let's start with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So I'm gonna only correct you on what we've learned, right? So if there's any tajweed rules that we haven't learned yet, I'm not gonna talk about those. We'll focus on the things that we've learned. I want you to start with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and then I want you to read really the first 4 ayat, or let's say 1, 2, 3, the first, let's say the first 5 ayat, inshallah. First 5 ayat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
Okay, let's stop here. That's the 5. These are the 5 ayat. Okay, so let's talk about some of the mistakes. Alhamdulillah. So first, you're reading. I don't know if you're reading from memory or you're reading from looking at the letters. So that's something that we'll figure out as we go. But something that you made a mistake with is the name of Allah. We said the name of Allah has to be light if it's preceded by a kasra. So we say Bismillah, lahi. We don't say Bismillahi. And you said Bismillahi. And also you said Alhamdulillahi. So we say Bismillahi. Can you say it?
Bismillahi.
Yes. And can you say Alhamdulillahi?
Alhamdulillahi.
No, lighter than that. Alhamdulillahi.
Lahi.
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 Yes. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Excellent. And can you read the 5th ayah from here again to me, please?
Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in.
Okay. So here you made the ya heavy. Okay. So you said iya, iya. And ya, when you do ya, you made the ya heavy. Ya doesn't sound heavy. So it should be with smiling. If you smile a little extra, it comes out exactly how it should. So you say, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
Excellent. Okay, so that's it. So if you can focus on those two mistakes for now, the name of Allah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and then Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. That would be good for your Suratul Fatiha, inshallah. Jazakillah khairan. And we'll take Sister Kim. You'd like to, can you read the rest of Suratul Fatiha for us?
اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Okay, so I'm gonna take you step by step. Okay, so let's read every ayah again, and I'm gonna stop you on a couple of things, inshallah, and we'll try to perfect every letter that you pronounced. So let's take the first ayah and the ayah number 6, inshallah.
اهدنا صراط الذين
No, but just one ayah. So اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Okay.
اهدنا صراط المستقيم.
Okay. Is a ha. Can you say it? Not ha. Now you're moving towards the ha. It should be, it's dina.
اهدنا.
One more try.
اهدنا.
Okay, keep going.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Okay, so you had it correct up to right here. What is this letter?
Ta.
Is it ta?
Ta.
It's ta.
Ta. Oh,
This is ta. This is ta, right? Correct?
Okay, صراط صراط.
Sirata. So this is correct. You are pronouncing this correctly. Siratal mus. So here it's tricky because, by the way, this word right here, this word is probably, without exaggeration, is pronounced probably 99% wrong by everybody, not only you. Like even there's shuyukh that pronounce it wrong, because it's actually very tricky. And the reason why is because this there's letters that are very close to each other. See, when you say dhamma, the mu, your mouth is closed, mu. And then ta, you have to smile, and qa is heavy, so you have to close your mouth again. So you have to move correctly. But the trick is to spend the right amount of time on the scene. There's a scene with a sukoon, right? There's a silent scene. And we said the scene is one of the letters that actually have the sound that keeps going with them. So it's not a letter that you say S and you stop right away. It's actually a letter that you say S, the sound dies slowly. So take your time here and watch how I move my mouth, because this is how it becomes easy. You say mus, you start the mus, and once I start it, I start smiling. So mus. See, I move during the scene, I move my mouth to be ready for the ta. Mus ta. I don't have a problem anymore. But if I'm saying here mus, and then I have to say ta, I'm gonna say ta. Mustaqim. Can you say it?
Mustaqim.
Much better. Okay, let's keep going. Sirata.
Siratal Adina.
Siratal
Siratal Ladina أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب
Okay.
مغضوب.
So I feel you're struggling with the ghain here, which I'm supposing that shouldn't be a troublesome letter, but I could be wrong. I mean, when you gargle, right? You gargle maybe sometimes with the mouthwash or something. What is the sound that comes out?
Yeah, غير.
Yeah, but don't push too much, right? So it's that gargling without pushing too much on your throat. So
Yeah,
غير المغضوب.
غير.
It should come out really easily. Don't like, I think you're stressing out about it. So just relax those. They shouldn't really be tightened too much. Just gargle. غير المغضوب.
غير المغضوب.
So the غيري came out perfect, but your مغضوب didn't come out right.
غير المغضوب.
No, relax. مغضوب.
غير المغضوب
عليهم
عليهم
ولا الضالين.
ولا الضالين. آمين.
Okay, good, very, very good. Jazakallah khairan for sharing with us. I'm gonna stop recording for a minute here.